Okay, change of plan. I'm having to do this in the car. Went out for a walk this morning with the dog before Formula One, and absolutely soaked through. It was absolutely pouring down, so we only had a short walk. So I thought, okay, I'll do my video later on. So just watch the race, and interesting race. Max Verstappen won. Was hoping Lando would do better, but that's I don't think that's what many of you come here to listen to me rumble on about Formula One. So anyway, I just come back out because I need to get something to eat because I'm really shattered after working last night, really late, and oh, that was another story. Anyway, come back to get something to eat. I thought I'd take the dog back out because it's not raining. So he's had a little walk around this country park just here, which is great, which is really nice. And it started raining again, so I've had to hop it into the car. So no walk and talk today. It's going to be just a quick, short one in the car with a smelly, huffy puffy dog in the back. So if you can hear someone panting, it's not me, it's the dog. All right, so I'm just sitting beside this beautiful lake actually, and I remember years ago, I'm talking about 35, 40 years ago, I had a German Shepherd, and my mother and I brought him here, and the lake is beautiful, but it's very green, and it looks if it looks like grass, or it looks like foliage, because it's covered in a lot of foliage, what they call the water plants. And he actually thought it was, and he just ran into it and literally when he fell in the lake, and I freaked out. I thought I'd have to go in after him, but he was a big German Shepherd and he could swim, so it wasn't too bad. Anyway, I just realised that the camera is shaking. It's because the dog is panting. So I'm sorry, I apologise for that. It's not me shaking, it's the dog. Right. What was I going to talk about today? I had a couple of topics I wanted to talk about. Obviously sobriety. I mean, obviously, but the topic I think I was coming up with was how long does it take until you start to feel better? If you want to stop drinking and you decide day one, you're going to give up drinking. You're going to stop, and obviously you are going to be, that's something else. I've seen people saying that they don't want to stop because they're scared of the rattling, the shaking, the sweats. And it's perfectly, I mean, it's normal. That's what we have, because your body is craving that alcohol that it's had for so long. Even if you've been drinking, say, oh my god, this really is shaking a lot. I don't know how I can keep it more stable. I'm gonna have to hold it bit better because the dog is just rattling the car. Yeah, so if you've been drinking a couple of bottles of wine, say a night, or if you say you don't drink all day and then you have a few glasses every night, I think that if it's something you've been doing for a long time, then getting towards that time when you start to drink, say 6, 7 o'clock, you've probably noticed already that your body starts craving it and that you do start getting agitated. And if you are, say, late, if you're an hour or two later in the day, say drinking, you will have noticed probably in the past that you will have become more agitated. You will become a bit shaky, definitely anxious, but you can sometimes just start getting the shakes just from that. So obviously, if you've been drinking, say, continuously throughout the day for an awful long time, then obviously your body is used to that, and basically you're topping up your alcohol levels. So if you stop, say you stop, so you had your last drink, say midnight, and then you say, I'm going to stop from now on, that's it. The next day you will probably find that as soon as you wake up, if you're used to picking up a drink, you will get shaky and you will want to drink straight away, because I mean, a lot of us, we had that can at the side of the bed. We had maybe that bottle. I had like a can of cider, hidden obviously, maybe behind the shower or behind the toilet or in the bathroom, so that as soon as you wake up, you can go and get it, and you get it down you, and once you've had that initial drink, your body restores its level of alcohol in it, and you feel that relief, and you can start getting going with the day. So for those of you who are regularly doing that, obviously to actually not take a drink, to actually stop completely, even from early in the morning on that first day, you are going to start feeling the shakes. You're going to start feeling sweaty, clammy, even probably maybe sick, nauseous, definitely uncomfortable, and definitely edgy. As I've said before, if you're planning on stopping drinking, it might be a good idea, if you do live with people and they know, then tell them, because you're going to be extremely agitated, you're going to be extremely moody. I mean, you're going to be short-tempered, believe me. So that first day is going to be pretty difficult, and it's probably going to get worse during the day. You're going to feel even more, you're going to feel very sweaty, literally where the sweat is dripping off you. I can remember, and some of the times that I stopped, and then obviously I restarted, but I restarted and then I had to stop. Those restarts of those first day or whatever, I'd have to spend in bed because I couldn't function, you know, without the alcohol. I used to feel so ill. So I'd probably be in bed sweating and not being able to sleep, because you're just your body's not right. You know, you can't relax. You're craving alcohol. You're literally agitated. You're wanting it. You're even, I know your mind starts playing tricks. So you have completely cleared the house of alcohol, even though you have. You know, your mind will be saying, oh, I wonder if I've got some there, or I wonder if I've hidden some here, or if I've left some here. So you will be doing, your mind will be playing tricks with you, and you will be wanting to obviously go looking, possibly even go down to, maybe wanting to walk down to the shops. Try and avoid that if you can. As I said before, if you're planning, get some food in the house and get plenty of fluid and anything that you might need in those first couple of days, so that you can if possible stay at home. You don't have to go out, and you can recover in your own kind of safe place, feeling comfortable. You're not going to feel comfortable, but maybe more comfortable. So I would say the second day, I mean, that's the first night, you know, if you've got a whole day without drinking, that first night is going to be pretty rotten, believe me. I doubt that you're going to sleep very well, if you're going to sleep at all. This is where, if you have started to go to, or if you've got connections, if you started to go to AA, or if you've got connections with people who are sober, or friends that can help, then they're going to be handy to have. As you know, you can call them, say in the night, you can explain how you're feeling, you can talk things through with them. You know, you do, believe it or not, you can't get sober alone. I don't know anybody, I honestly actually don't know anybody who's ever got sober totally by themselves. I mean, there are instances where I know of people who've said they've just decided one day to stop drinking, and they've just not drank again. But you know, they've usually had family around them and that. But I've never actually heard of anyone on their own actually stopping drinking without any support, or without family or anyone. So for all those of you who may be on your own, in your house, alone, you know, reach out to anyone, any friends, any family. And if you are reaching out to family and they don't know, they probably do know actually, but if you are, explain to them what you're trying to do. I am sure they will be supportive. However bad you've been, however many bridges you've broken, you know, when your family realise that you are trying to do something about it, or friends that maybe you've lost through alcohol, you know, you'll be surprised how supportive they are. Honestly, people will come back to you. If you stop drinking, they will come back and they will support you. So I mean, my first, what I would say is, please, if possible, join AA. If it's online, join it online, but I would personally go to a meeting. So that first day, you're probably not going to be up to going to a meeting, but it might be a good idea to go online. As I said, you probably want to spend a day. I know whenever I'd been on a bender, I'd want to, you know, when I was trying to stop, I'd want to spend a day in bed, because I couldn't function properly at all. You know, the sweating, the shakes, the anxiety, the sickness, you know, it's just, you've just got no energy. You ache, everything hurts, you know, all your joints hurt. You get funny pains in your stomach. You know, your kidneys, your liver are all fighting back. You know, even, you know, massive headaches like you used to have probably years ago, when you weren't drinking like you are, but you're like a normal person has a hangover. You're going to have a whopping great big headache. And I've said in the past, I'm not going to go through it. Oh God, the rain is coming down now. I'm not going to go through all those details I've mentioned in other videos. I just want to discuss quickly in this video about the first 2 or 3 days and how soon you'll get better. So as I said, the first day, probably best staying at home, and you know, I've explained how you're going to feel, and it's going to be pretty rough. Maybe, as I said, do an online meeting of AA. Second day, if you can, you know, I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed, you've got through. Pray to God that you've got through the first day, you know, and you've stopped and you've not picked up. The second day is going to be easier, but it's still going to be hard, very hard. You're going to be rattling even more. You're going to be shaking even more. You might find you've got even less energy. You know, the withdrawals are really going to be kicking in. If you've seriously been drinking an awful lot, I hope, you know, I'm hoping that you've checked with your doctor, and that you've explained to people what you're doing, you've let someone know, and you've got people checking up on you, because don't go automatically thinking you're going to get seizures, or you're going to, you know, have an attack of some sort, or a heart attack, you know, and stuff like that. It is very unlikely, but it does happen. So that's what I'm saying. You know, if you obviously, this is like a video, a few videos down the line. I have made other videos if you want to go back to one of those before, about how I say, you know, stop drinking, you know, what to plan for. One of those, again, you know, I have mentioned often, just get yourself checked out first and explain to the doctor truthfully. But yeah, second day is going to be pretty rough. You are going to be rattling even more, and you are going to be feeling, you know, pretty shit still. And I would say probably, you know, get, if you can though, on the second day, I would definitely try and get out to a meeting in the evening, because I mean the evenings are when you're most vulnerable. So I would say in the evening, get to a meeting, whatever you can, you know. However, if you can get someone to pick you up, that would be great. Even if you could get a taxi there, please, if you can, just get to a meeting. Again, preferably, I say get somebody to pick you up, because it's a, you know, it takes that risk away from you kind of stopping on the way or stopping on the way back, you know, maybe at a shop or something, you know what I mean for. So yeah. Third day, again, you're still going to be rattling, you're still going to be feeling rough, but you know, you should be starting to feel a little bit better. I would say that the sweating maybe starting to ease a little bit, the pains maybe starting to ease a little bit, but don't panic if you're still feeling really bad. I would say it's probably until about the 5th day before you start feeling anywhere better in any kind of real sense, you know, where you maybe haven't got a headache, where you're feeling, you know, like you can go for a proper walk, or you can do, you know, more normal things. And this is why I said in the past, maybe take a week off work if you still got your job. So 5 days, I would be hoping that you would be feeling, you know, a lot better. By a full week, you'll definitely, you know, you will be feeling significantly better. So after you've got that first week under you, you know, congratulate yourself, obviously, and secondly, just, you know, see it as, you know, you've done a week. If you go back now and drink, then you're going to undo all that work. Do you know what I mean? So if you can, just, God, this camera's moving around so much. If you can, just take stock, and obviously, as I've said before, AA, please just get to AA. I know it's not for everyone, but at least try it. Do you know what I mean? At least try a few meetings and stay there, and try it for, I would say, give it a year. If possible, give it a year. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like all the people. You might not like any of the people at first, because when you're an alcoholic, you know, you feel like you want to control everything, and you feel that you don't like being told what to do. And you know, it's not that people are telling you what to do, but they've been in your position, and they've been where you are now, so they know exactly what you're going through. And only a true alcoholic, you know, or a true, you know, problem drinker, addict, or whatever you want to call us, can know what you're going through. So as I said before, please just get to a meeting. I don't want to waffle on. I just wanted to make that a shortish video, just about how long it takes realistically to get, you know, to start feeling better once you put that drink down. Put that drink down and give it that week, and then come back to me and tell me if you don't feel better, because, you know, I'd be very surprised if the answer's no. Wow, it is very beautiful here. This is a lovely country park here. But it's September, and the weather's turned again, and yeah, it still looks beautiful from the sun, from the summer, should I say, with all the trees. They haven't started to turn yet, so they're not gone like autumny green, browny. They're still green. So yeah, it is really beautiful, and it's nice being able to get out in the fresh air and being able to you know, experience it and really appreciate it properly. And once you've got quite a bit of sobriety underneath you, you can do anything. Honestly, you can do absolutely anything. I mean, last night I was working, and as I've probably mentioned before, I work at a club. I don't say I run the club, but basically I seem to be the only member of staff there at the moment, so I'm basically working all the hours that they've got there, and basically I do everything there at the moment. So yeah, and it is behind a bar, but and I don't recommend this, I really don't. And in AA they will tell you don't recommend it, and I never thought I would ever do this, because I've never worked behind a bar before, but I've been doing it for 3 years now, and I actually find, as not being a social person, and it's not that I choose to not be I just don't want to be a social person, but I do think that we all are meant to be social beings, and we are supposed to mix with people. I do like my own company. I do like my own time with my dog. You know, I do like peace and quiet. I like nature. I love the beach, the sea, and I do like mixing with people on my terms, and then obviously getting back to just being, you know, with the dog and myself. But I found, since I've had this job, it gets me out and meets people in a sociable way. And I have to say, the people that I work with, the people who come in, you know, are our customers. I love every one of them. They're all really, really nice. So it's a regular club. It's part of the Catholic Church, and it's really funny, because I was a bit annoyed because I'd got dropped to do this last minute party that they wanted last night. And it was basically that one of the church rooms had been overbooked, and double booked, and they came in and said, could they use, the club? And initially it was like, no, they couldn't. But I said, well, look, you know what, we need the money, the club needs the money, why not? I don't mind doing it. So we did, we opened, we had this group of people, and it was quite a lot of them, and they were lovely. But we did say that, you have to buy the drinks off us and that. And to be honest, some of them, they were bringing their own drinks in and stuff. But anyway, the funny part was that the priest, from the big house, from the church, he comes in, and he comes in for a beer quite often, just to have a lager or whatever. But he'd come back from Nigeria. So I think it's Nigeria he's from, but he's a lovely guy. He's the priest there, and he came in and he said, "Dad, come over here." He was like beckoning me to come over here. He said, "Look, I got this bottle of beer." He said, "It's from Nigeria. It's called, I think it's called Tungsten or something." He said, "Get a glass, come on, share it with me." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I didn't say that to him, obviously, but I said, "You know what, Father, I'm really, really sorry, but I don't drink." Somebody's walking past with their dog now, so they're probably thinking I'm totally crackers, because the back's blacked out, should I say, so you can't see a dog. So anyway, I don't think my dog's asleep now. He hasn't seen the dog run past. Anyway, Father said, come over, check out this beer, get a glass, share this beer with me. I was like, I don't drink, Father, I'm really sorry, but I haven't drank for 17 years. And it was so funny. His face, bless him, but he did say, "Oh, God bless you, you're so good." And I was like, no, and but it was just so funny, and it made me think that, wow, all those years ago, I wouldn't be able to, even when I first stopped drinking, I think I would have found it hard to say, "Oh no," and I would have kind of had to find some kind of excuse, or I might have even, I don't think after once I'd stopped, because once I'd stopped, I had stopped. Do you know what I mean? There was no going back, but then I wouldn't have been put in that position, so I wouldn't put myself in that position anyway. But yeah, it was funny, and I just had no qualms. No, it doesn't bother me if somebody asks me, "Oh, do you want a drink?" I often get bought drinks at the club, but I always have like the zero Koppenberg, which I really, really love, the zero alcohol Koppenberg cider, and we also do a zero Guinness, which I usually have one of them, when I'm working. I usually get bought two to three drinks a night, so I'll have one of each, say, and maybe a glass of water, sparkling water or something. So yeah, it's just so funny to look back, and I get shocked, and like somebody bought what was it, a Guinness, the normal Guinness, and their card didn't work, so they left it on the bar and they went. And I was thinking, bloody hell, how long are they going to be? And I was starting to wonder, thinking they just left it and just couldn't pay for it, and I was going to have to bin it. And even now, though, that little bit in me was like, you can't really bin anything. And that's something, I mean, not that I would have drank it, I would have binned it, but I was wondering who else, who can I give it to, kind of thing, more or so. But when people leave half a lager on the table and go, or if they leave a little bit of a drink, like somebody had a couple of whiskies and Coke and they left half the glass there, I was like, how can you do that? How can you do that? That's not normal. But it's like my mum. She could just have a bottle of wine, open a bottle of wine, have a glass out of it and put it in the fridge and leave it for another day. It's not normal. It's just not normal to me. I mean, it's just, I don't drink at all now, obviously. So I just wouldn't bother in the first place. But I still find it funny, and I still don't get it. So that mentality, I think, is still there. But yeah, I'm waffling on again, aren't I? I just can't help it. Anyway, I'm getting cold because the window's open, and because otherwise it'll steam up, and then people will wonder what. Well, there's not many people about, and I don't really care, but you know what I mean. I don't want to look weird sitting in the car with the steamed windows. Anyway, because I've got a sweaty, wet dog in here. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. But yeah, give it a week. As I said, after a week, you should feel significantly better, and believe me, it's amazing how after a week you can get another week under your belt, and then before you know it, you've got a month, and yeah, they just build up on it. And I mean, obviously, as I've said before, I couldn't stop drinking. I could stop for a week, I could stop for a month, and then I eventually stopped for 3 months, and then I relapsed. But at first, it took me nearly a year from when I decided to stop to when I actually really decided to stop. So once I, as I explained in my last video, once I'd taken that last drink and I'd stopped, and that was it for me. There was no going back, and I hope there never is. I mean, you can never say never, but I have no want, no need, no you know. And I do believe as well that, you know, when I asked God for help and I asked, you know, please take this, you know, compulsion to drink away from me, I do believe that that's what happened. It was taken away, because I did feel a relief, and I did feel that it was taken away from me, because I didn't want to drink after that. And to be honest, even though I was scared that I would drink, and I remember the first year I was scared, I was really scared all the time of drinking. I was petrified, but I didn't want to drink. And there's a big difference, I think. In my head, I didn't want to drink. I never wanted to drink. I was scared I might, but I didn't want to drink. And I think that is, I think you've got to get to that place before you truly commit. I mean, keep trying, keep trying. I'm not saying don't try, but I'm saying you'll find, you know, if you really, really want to stop drinking, when you really do want to stop, you will stop. And if you're not stopping, then just, you know, tell yourself, you know, you don't really want to stop properly, because that's what it boils down to. If you really want to, you will. When you get to that point, you will stop. So if you're telling yourself, you're thinking, you're believing in your head that you know, you want to stop, just question it. Do you really, really want to stop? Because you'll probably find, and you'll have to admit it to yourself, but you'll probably find that deep in there, you don't really, and I know it was for me, I wanted to stop, but I didn't really want to stop, you know. I didn't really want to give it up forever, kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there, because it's starting to, I can hear the noise now, and there's a lot of people about, and it's getting windy and cold, and I'm tired, and I'm going to have an early night, so I've got to upload it as well. So anyway, as I said, it was going to be a short video, and now it's 26 minutes, but hopefully shorten it down a bit. Anyway, as I said, take care. I have forgotten again to mention at the beginning of this video that I've created a school community, which is on the school platform, SKOOOL, which is called 9 Lives Sobriety, and it is for helping you to stop drinking, and it's community, it's free to join. It's, as I said, I've only just started it 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago maybe now, and it's for people who want to stop drinking, and for you to come together, not to come together physically at the moment anyway, but for a place for you to help one another, chat to one another, and ask for help. And obviously I put resources on there, and obviously you can ask questions to me and that sort of thing. So it's like a support group. You can do as much or as little as you want. You can just go on there and you can use the resources. You can download, I think I've done a couple of planners and that. You can download information. There's some resources on there for you. So go onto the link in the bottom of this YouTube description, and click on that, and it will take you to it. Okay, so thank you, and I will speak to you again soon, and just keep trying. Okay, thank you, bye.